went overseas, man, to fight Savchenko, and did you think the outcome that you got, the TKO, that was going to be the outcome? I mean, were you like
I tried not to think about the outcome. I tried to think because I knew I was going there and they were going to try to rob me. So I just told myself, don't think about any possible outcomes. Just go in there, prepare the best you can. If you get screwed, leave on your own masterpiece. That's what I said. I'm going to leave on my masterpiece. If they screw me, I'm going to leave on my masterpiece. And people will say, you know what, that kid was a good fighter. That's all I could think about. You know, I didn't want to think about the result or what possibly might happen too much because it would just take a toll on my training, you know, and I didn't want to do that.
But you made a huge statement. You beat a guy who was undefeated, and he was no slouch. I mean, you went overseas too. You took a big chance.
Like I said, I mean, I just focused on myself. I didn't focus on him. I tried not to focus on the judges or anything. I just tried to focus, be the best I can be the sharpest I can be, and see what ends up out of that.
Now you busted him up. We don't see that in fights with you. You think now that at 147 you might be a little bit bigger puncher than you've shown in the past?
As long as my hands stay healthy, you know, it's always been the case. If my hands are healthy, then I'll hit a little harder. If not, you know, you've seen me bust guys up in the past. It's just, you know, I didn't get the stoppage. I mean, I've cut several of my opponents and stuff. So it's just a matter if my hands stay healthy. You know, it can be a question that can be asked every fight. But, you know, if my hands stay healthy, I can punch a little harder and punch a little more.
With everything that's happened to you in the sport of boxing, I mean, the robbery with Juan Diaz, the Cotto fight, I mean, I'm not going to name others, but what kept you motivating, especially after the Khan fight that I saw you talking to DeBella, and you know you didn't seem in good spirits, and I actually thought you were going to retire.
Yeah, I just feel like I never got to show my best, you know. I felt like certain situations I didn't get to fight at my best, like the way I'm doing what I'm capable of, you know. So I felt like every time I would go back to the gym after those losses, I would be doubting, certain doubts would be in my mind, but I would start training and be like, yo man, I'm pretty sharp, you know, I feel good. Like, you know, there's something still here, I'm not done yet, you know. And so right away I would get back on my motivating factor in my brain and just be like, yeah, I'm ready, I can do this again, I can do this again. So you know, basically just the mental motivation, being back in the gym, feeling sharp, and you know, right away you start getting hungry again.
You said you don't feel like you're respected by the media in the sport of boxing. Why do you think that? I mean, you have a pretty decent chin. I mean, you've pretty much never been stopped. I mean, you've been stopped, but never been knocked out.
I just think boxing is very unforgiving as far as there's a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, writing and reporting on it, and so they never let you forget a loss. Like what happened in 2008 to me, I think will always haunt me the rest of my career based on these know-it-alls, you know. I had 3 bad performances in 1 year. I fired Buddy McGirt and I said, hey, listen, that was the problem. You know, styles don't clash, styles don't mesh, styles are clashing. He didn't get it. He tried to keep fitting the puzzle piece in there when it didn't fit. He should have known better. I was just naive and just listening to my trainer. But I said, yo, I made that change. So what happened in 4 years since then? Am I right or are they right?
Right.
1 bad performance in 4 years. And all that proved to me was it's time to leave 140 pounds. You know, so you know, I always feel like people stay with that because it wasn't just lost at Hatton, it was the Indo rematch, it was the Indo draw fight. It was 1 bad performance after the other. You've never seen that in my whole career. Multiple bad performances in a row, even in the amateurs. I come back strong every time. And so for it to get to that point where it was 3 in a row, it was like, and nobody could rack their brain around it. I mean, I couldn't rack my brain around what was going on because if I would have figured it out, I would have fired him earlier. But, you know, I couldn't rack my brain around what was going on, but yet all these experts had their own expert opinion and nobody got it right. If somebody would have said, hey, listen, you know what, McGirt keeps him too low to the ground and won't let him use his athleticism. Because that was really what the problem was. Anytime I use any athletic moves in the gym, be like, no, gotta stay low and do that. You can't use, you don't get the max out of your athleticism. I'm an athletic kind of fighter. If somebody would have said back then, out of all these experts, you know what it is, McGirt just ain't letting Paulie use athleticism, I would have been like, bingo, that's it. Let's get rid of him, let's get somebody else. And you know, it took my brother after the Hatton fight. Like, yo.
But I also think, I was watching the Hatton fight the other day, and Harold Letterman said, this is not the Paulie I know.
Oh, yeah, and then expert Larry Merchant says it is, of course, because he's an expert, you know.
Right.
Expert. So, you know, and that's my problem with it. You know, all the experts didn't get it right. You know, Harold Letterman is a guy who's seen me fight since my 4-round fights. He comes to my fights and stuff. So, yeah, it's came about what kind of style I bring to the table, and he'll be able to explain it better to you. Larry Merchant watches boxing only when he's working. If he's not working, he's not watching boxing. So, so you know, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, so you take the good with the bad as far as the opinions are concerned. But like I said, if people would have got it right, because as soon as my brother told me at that time, I was like, bingo, that's it, that's what it is. I'm not using my athleticism, that's it. Everybody had an opinion, it's the Cotto fight took a toll on him, this and that. Stupid ass motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like all these guys watch boxing every week and don't know shit. Literally. Watch boxing every week. I'm on tape with these guys every day. Nobody got it right. Nobody got it. If somebody would have got it right earlier, I would have changed trainers before the Hatton fight. I would have beat Hatton and everything might have been different. Listen,
I know.
I'm a two-time world champion, and people and people can say, "Oh, why are you bitter?" I'm bitter because people don't let me forget that year. I'm still bitter because I'm better than that year, and so no matter what I accomplish, people are like, "Oh," like if people talk about the Hatton rematch, and I hear people saying, "Oh, Hatton out boxing the first time. What do you think's gonna happen this time? Like it matters anyway." As if when I knock him out in a rematch, it's gonna be because he was shot, not because I was better than him the whole time.
Right.
And that irks me. That irks me. I'm gonna knock him out in the rematch. It's just gonna happen. It's just the way it's gonna be. It's the fact. I'm gonna knock his ass out when we rematch. But I'm not gonna get the credit for it. It's gonna be like, oh, when you know, when he was more in his prime, Paulie he couldn't handle him even boxing him. You know what I mean? So again, experts. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
He chose your last opponent, Shevchenko. I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't think Ricky. I think Ricky also thinks the same guy he beat is the same guy that's still fighting now. I don't think Ricky ever got it either. But I think Shevchenko's a tough opponent for him. But I think Shevchenko is not. He's not very mentally strong, and I felt him folding very early in that fight in his hometown with a crowd behind him. I feel like when he comes out in Man Arena when 20,000 screaming Brits, a guy who's not mentally strong, if he's not mentally right, he's gonna fold on his own.
Right.
So I think Shevchenko has the style and the skill to really pose a problem for Hatton. I just don't think if he believes in himself enough. I just don't know if he's gonna believe in himself enough once he walks out to the ring, and once he gets Ricky walking out to the ring after he's in the ring waiting for him.
Exactly. There's a guy in this card who you've had a little bit of beef with, Devon Alexander, who's fighting Randall Bailey. What's your feeling about that?
I think if Devin is on, if Devin fights the way he fought Maidana, he can probably stop Randall. Randall's a dangerous puncher, but he doesn't have the legs he used to. Devin is obviously a fight that always can be talked about. It could be an interesting matchup in the future. But right now I have Conor in front of me, and then possibly Hatton. A lot of talk. I chase the money, man. You know what I mean? I'm 32 next month.
So how long? You say you're going to be 32 next month. How long are you going to stay in the game?
Only this little ride right here lasts. That's it. You know what I mean? I can retire, and I'm okay with money. But I'm not going to retire in the middle of the ride, man. I'm not getting off until the ride's over. You know what I mean? So right now, this little ride with this belt, I got it. I'm gonna stay with this ride, and then when it ends, probably call it a night.
I got one more, man. Showtime, man. You did your whole thing in the commentating. You did a pretty good job, I would say. Is that something you're looking forward to in the future?
Yeah. I have a good time doing that. I always like analyzing fights, watching boxing, breaking it down for people. Especially, like I said, most people will watch boxing every week and not know what the fuck they're watching. So
exactly.
I love to be the guy to educate people on what's actually going on. So it's cool.